Hello, everybody. Welcome to CIO Leadership Live. I am Kirata Tar, content strategist at Foundry, and I will be your host for this episode. We have a special guest with us, Abhijit Chatterjee, CIO at TCG Life Sciences. Uh, Hello.
Hi.
Abhijit, it's a pleasure to have you with us, and it's a pleasure to conduct this interview. Abhijit, you've been a leader in the technology space for about 27 years. I'd like to know a little bit about your journey as a technology leader so far and how it has led you to TCG Life Sciences.
Okay. That's a long question. Let me try to see if I can give you a very, maybe a 10,000 feet view. Um, so I sort of started my career in India. Did my schooling and both my university in Canada. Came back in '98 and started with my own company, which was primarily in back-end development services, rather. From there on, I moved into Excite. I spent a bit of time in Excite setting up their new business initiatives, which is specifically in and around the internet technology at that point of time. From then on, I have worked with companies in BFSI, which is with SRAY. I've worked with Caterpillar dealership companies, which is Tractors India Limited, where I spent a significant amount of time. I also started my SAP journey over there. We did a very large-scale multi-geography rollout of SAP application. I think the digital transformation initiative sort of started during that phase as well, from early 2010 onwards, probably. I've always sort of preferred innovation. Rather than using traditional old technology, I sort of focused in terms of what the business challenges really are and how technology can be infused to give not just the strategic value, but also drive efficiency within the organization, so that there is some kind of a return on the investment the company makes. From there on, I worked with KCT, which is primarily into multiple different type of services, ranging from coal mining, real estate, aquaculture, SAP implementation, and several digital transformation initiatives, moving literally the entire infrastructure into cloud. Worked with a renewable energy company, and then sort of was deeply engaged in a rural e-commerce company called Sahaj, where it is a very interesting journey, whether you set up digital initiatives and various type of citizen services, financial services that you provide to the rural India, specifically at the Gram Panchayat level. TCG Life, and sort of along the journey of my life, so to say, I sort of came over to TCG Life Sciences, joined here in 2021. Unlike the rest of the industries I have been involved in, this probably is very different. I never realized pharma is so different. And all through in the career, we talked about machine learning, we talked about AI, we talked about digital transformation, we talked about data as gold. Truly, in the pharmaceutical or life sciences vertical, you realize how important data is, how important and critical transformation is. So this is a very, very interesting industry, fastly evolving. And I think all of us, including you, I think we realize the impact of this industry, specifically from 2019 when COVID hit us. I think it sort of paved the way for the rest of the pharmaceuticals or biotech companies like us, to evolve, innovate as we move forward. It's extremely challenging. There is significant opportunities in terms of how this industry will grow, evolve, leverage on cutting edge technologies. And so far in the last 2.5 years that I've been here, it has been a very, very interesting journey. We took a lot of very, very new, very interesting initiatives in the industry. Hopefully the company will benefit in some form or the other, and I assume they are getting benefited. But I think the vision for the future is innovation, is leveraging technology to suit the requirements of this specific vertical, rather, and to see how quickly we can deliver the services so people like us, you and me, at the end of the day, in the end of the cycle of the pharmaceutical journey, we get the benefit, because at the end of the day, it produces medicines which we all require. So it has been a very interesting journey so far.
That's quite the adventurous journey you've had, and so has TCG Life Sciences been dabbling in emerging technology, which is funny because that is where the conversation is headed. Because emerging technologies is something that all organizations are focused on. And you mentioned artificial intelligence and machine learning. They hold potential to revolutionize various aspects of life sciences. Could you maybe share with us how TCG specifically is leveraging these technologies to enhance research, development, and other key areas?
With due respect to certain confidentiality, I'll try to give you as much detail as I can. I will not make the statements very generic to TCG Life Sciences per se, but I will give you a perspective of how industries like are utilizing machine learning and AI. So obviously, advanced drug discovery is one area where you can do molecular modeling. AI you can use for simulate molecular structures, predict how different type of compounds will interact. Machine learning algorithms, when trained on vast type of reaction databases that a company can have, can suggest a potential drug candidate more rapidly than your traditional research can. Prediction in bioactivity is another area where you can analyze large data sets and to predict biological activity of thousands of molecules, so to say. The other benefits I think one can accrue is enhanced data analysis, which I just talked about a few minutes ago. Truly, data is gold. I mean, over here, I mean, it's the interpretation that we can get from the data is phenomenal. Instruments that we use in analytical labs produce vast amount of data, and machine algorithms can actually analyze these data sets, picking up patterns and anomalies that might be missed out in manual review process. Then obviously you have this predictive analysis with the data analytics interpretations that you can actually garner. The other areas where I think these two technologies are helping in optimizing lab procedures, a little futuristic. Certainly, we are not using it right now, but you can actually do automation of experiments. So AI-driven robotic system can carry out experiments. This is actually happening in pathology labs in many places. For example, it's happening in Quest Labs in US. So they use robotics to do pathology reactions, right? So systems can carry out experiments, adjusting the parameters on the fly based on the real-time results. I talked about the enhanced analysis a few minutes ago. You can take that sort of integrate that process in the lab automation process. In predictive maintenance also, we have a large role. Some part of it we are also going to try to use over here. It can predict when the machine will need maintenance, minimizing downtime of research phase, because uptime is very critical, because it's sort of we run operations in 3 shifts. In certain industry, we are not heavily into that. Genomics analysis, it can analyze vast genomics data sets, understanding gene expressions and patterns, gene functions. So image recognition is something which we will try to use. We have large amount of image assets that we actually produced out of biology research. So the biology microscope or any other imaging techniques that we use, ML can identify structures, it can identify cells or anomalies more rapidly than manual analysis. The last couple of areas, obviously, more an operational area. Supply chain automation is something, predict the demand of chemicals and reagents that we continuously keep on using. Certain ones may have a large lead time based on, so we actually have already an application process which we are running internally, where right from the lab to the supply chain people to the vendors, back inside the labs, we have an integrated application. There, if we infuse this, it can actually predict, rather than going up to the lab or waiting for requisitions, that what would be the consumption pattern be like in the next 6 months, and be able to pre-order them, because the delivery lead times can sometimes be quite long. It can help in energy automations. We're also putting up certain solar initiatives within the company to addressing our CSR requirements. There also, I think it can sort of play a role. One area where we have started a lot of traction is reaction predictions. Algorithms can predict outcomes of a reaction, assisting our bench chemists in developing new synthesis pathways and improving the existing ones. What I mean by that, when you have a target to reach, you really have to run multiple reactions to reach that. Now, there's a lot of failed reactions because you don't know exactly which is an optimized pathway, both in terms of time and cost. Now, if there is a chemical synthesis application, which is AI-based, which sort of harnesses the chemical rules and the kind of a data that you have for the last, we have been operating in 2000 and 2001, and there are a lot of public data as well, a lot of publications as well. So based on the entire analysis of that, it can predict that pathway. I do not have to go through the failed reaction process. It saves time. It also saves cost on consumption of raw material. So optimizing these reaction conditions, machine learning models can determine the best conditions, both in terms of temperature, pressure, catalyst, chemical reactions, and it can also enhance the yield and purity. This is very, very critical. So the integration of machine learning and AI in the kind of services that we have, like in biology, chemistry, and analytical services, not only optimizes our research and development, but it also streamlines our backend operations, as I've just described, and also helps in the decision-making process. So it's I think in the last two and a half years that I've been here, we have taken a pivotal shift towards the accelerated discovery process, enhanced efficiency, and robust data management in our company. But I think it's still a long ways to go. I think we have just started scratching the tip of the iceberg. So I think the journey is still pretty long and in front of us to really garner the true benefits of this technology offering.
Very clearly, these are very exciting times for the life sciences industry, with so many changes taking place. And if these changes, these technologies can lead to improvement in people's lives, people's health, I think there's nothing like it. And I think that's what technology is there for. Before we let you go, I have one question that I think I'm asking on behalf of everyone, because it's on everyone's mind. Will Gen AI or ChatGPT replace human talent or cause major job losses in the IT industry? And how do you think CIOs can work to retain the best human talent?
There will be customer support, content generation, data entry analysis, and basic software development, right? And you're already seeing technology and tools in around these areas. The customer support IVR systems, there's a lot of companies is completely automated. And sometimes you talk about, talk to a computer, so to say. So this is something where I see an immediate effect, okay? Depersonalization, okay? So over-reliance of AI for tasks, specifically in customer interactions, might lead to depersonalization. I just gave an example in terms of the IVR. We don't get to hear any humans at the end of the day, and that makes me nervous, right? A lot of times when I'm having an issue, specifically if it's a financial issue and I don't get to talk to somebody who's a human, it makes me nervous, right? So that human touch, the intuition, the emotion will be lost. So that it is going to be an impact to us, people like us. Skill redundancy. And I think as AI becomes more, evolves further, and it becomes more skillful and adept in tasks, it might be diminishing the need for certain skills that I just talked about a few minutes ago, and that previously were very important and had a large employment base. That's the negative side. There is obviously positive side. Job evolution. So as there will be some menial areas where jobs which might actually go, historically, if you see, technology advancements has created more jobs. So I am sure that in some point of time, people will be there who becomes experts in this area, and you would require people to sort of revolving around this particular domain where you need to train, to maintain, to oversee these AI systems. Productivity obviously is a key area for tasks which are time consuming, do not require a lot of human intervention, which can focus on sort of allowing us to focus on more strategic initiatives, more creative initiatives, rather than doing the mundane tasks. So those things can be automated. Decision making obviously would be better because, as I said, the use of AI ML with quantum computing, I believe will revolutionize it. And I think AI can aid the human decision-making process, resulting in more informed, much more better choices. Cost efficiency will obviously be a critical one, which I feel. I think it will help in reducing your overhead costs. Scales and efficiency is another area. The scale, sort of organizations can handle tasks at a scale which was unfathomable earlier, right? AI is 24/7. It's not a human. So you can run something unlike human. It doesn't require breaks unless they create a union and they sort of go on a strike. I'm sure that too will happen at some point of the time in the future. But till then, I think you have a 24/7 operations. Reduction of errors. And I mean, systems will not make errors in general if you program it correctly. Then it can actually identify the errors and give a much better fine-tuned results, which humans can't. Obviously, I talked about a few minutes ago, AI trainers, AI ethical managers, oversight heads, these kind of stuff, specifically in the software engineering domain, in controlling domain, in statutory domains, governing domains. I think people will see different type of roles which will evolve. In the future, I think more pervasive use happens, we will see more businesses integrating with generative AI in their operations, from content creation to software development. I think it will come in phases. Initially, obviously, people will have certain restrictions towards it, but gradually there will be an adoption. So that's one thing. Collaborative AI, instead of replacing human roles, I think AI will be used as a collaborator, where AI human team sort of will work together. I think that is a foreseeable future. But there will be also some ethical guidelines and ethical concerns as AI becomes more integrated. Question will be how autonomous AI would be in terms of its decision-making process.
Thank you very much for that detailed answer. That does cover all possible bases of people's assumptions about AI, and certainly some of those things will be very true in the near and far future. That brings me to the end of this episode of CIO Leadership Live. Abhijit, thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights into the changing CIO role, emergence of digital innovation, and rapid adoption of AI, automation, ML, and all the new trends in data security and cybersecurity. This has been a deeply enriching conversation, and it has certainly given me lots to think about when it comes to all of the changes that are taking place in your industry and how technology can take us forward. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Until next time, this is Kirat signing off from CIO Leadership Live. Thank you very much.